My name's Kath Rutherford. I'm 71 years old. I'm a retired teacher, public servant, and I live with my husband of almost 40 years. I have 2 grown-up sons, and I was diagnosed with myeloma about 2 years ago. My diagnosis of multiple myeloma followed some very unusual symptoms, which I didn't recognise as indicating anything much, but I knew they were unusual. It was actually a squeezing in my arm that woke me up at night. And I thought I'd check it out through the GP with clearly no expectation that it would be hugely serious. I just thought, yes, best to check out these things. And after ordering a whole lot of tests, my GP told me I had very low hemoglobin, which is one of the indicators for multiple myeloma. I think shared decision-making is important because it allows the medico to have an insight into the patient's experience, the patient's priorities and the patient's perspectives. Often medico's perspective is necessarily one of how this treatment works with the population, how it's distributed, how generally, what percentage might respond in various ways, whereas an individual is more concerned, obviously, about the treatment's effect on them. And it's very important for the medico to see that both in terms of psychology, emotion, and as well as the general medical response to treatment. I quite enjoyed using the ChoiceApp because it was a very clear app, very easy to use, very appealing to use. I think being able to answer questions and then find a summary at the end that is a visual representation of what is important to you. So you might think you know what's important to you, but until you answer all those questions, you don't actually see them presented objectively or numerically. And I found it interesting just to see how important survival was to me after answering all of those questions. Survival was clearly the most important factor for me, rather than side effects. All of these sorts of sources of information and analysis are really important when you've got a serious diagnosis, a serious condition. And I think it's important because it does show you what's important to you, how you've assessed different factors, different aspects of your condition. I think as someone who has benefited from a lot of the activities of organisations like Myeloma Australia and who is benefiting from being on a clinical trial, I think it's important for people to share as much of their experience with others. And I think, in that education advocacy space, it's important for all of us to contribute with our experience, our ideas, and to make it better for other people or to give other people the opportunity to consider their own position in the context of other people's experience.